Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't going to do a video today. I'm a little under the weather. I'm hoping that I can feel better by tomorrow's live stream. But I got whiplash again today on my way home from bringing little Miss Alaska Prepper to school. You all remember the video that I did about a couple of weeks ago when gas prices really started taking off, like on a daily basis. And I was like, oh my goodness, gas prices went from like $3.95, which was already high, to like $4.49 overnight. And then now it's sitting at like $4.89 or $4.91. And that time I told you that heating fuel prices had also gone up from about $3.05, I believe I said, to like $3.19, $3.20. Today on my way home, I noticed it was $4 a gallon. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not prepping now for this coming summer and next winter, then you are preparing to fail. You need to be preparing right now for the next 6 months to 1 year ahead of time. You have to start thinking about those things that you're really going to need in the next 6 months to a year and beyond, because these things are not going to get better. Just think about it. Let's talk about fuel and heating oils and diesel and things like that for a second. Right now, not only is this Russia-Ukraine thing going on, which has put somewhat of a damper on fuel because of the sanctions and all that, right? Let's take that to the side. But with everything that is going on, with the prices that are surging, just here in the U.S., this is how much your government cares about you, ladies and gentlemen, here in the U.S. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about any other country, okay, ladies and gentlemen? But I do believe that you must fix your house first before you go and try to fix someone else's house. If your children are starving in your house, you're not going to take the last loaf of bread that you have to feed your children and give it to someone else. All right, that's just what it comes down to. All right, if you would, God bless you. But I know I wouldn't. I would not see my child suffer so that I can give someone else my last loaf of bread and then see my child suffer. Okay, but right now the U.S., with the prices that we have at the gas pump, the prices that we have for heating oil, for heating gas, they are exporting diesel fuel from our country here to other countries. They are exporting natural gas from our country to other countries, while people here in the United States are struggling just to be able to pay their heating bills. Now, let me just give you some perspective as to how big of an increase the price on heating fuel has gone up here in Alaska. I remember about a year and a half ago, not even 2 years ago, it was probably about less than a year and a half ago, I have to say, I was filling up a 5-gallon gas can or fuel can for my heating oil. All right, I have what I like to call my, just playing around here, but I do call it this. I call it my apocalypse stockpile, right, of heating fuel. And that's 10 gas cans that I keep. I keep calling them gas cans, but they're heating fuel cans. The ones that are yellow. I keep 10 of those full with heating fuel at all times. And then every other summer or so, I'll rotate them out, right? Because heating fuel will last about 4 or 5 years as long as you keep it nice and sealed, all right? So every other summer or so, I'll rotate them out. So looking back a year and a half or so ago, I could fill up one of those 5-gallon cans for less than $10. It was about $1.75, $1.65 a gallon for heating oil. Now, one of those 5-gallon cans cost me $20 to fill. Just think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that for the person that fills their heating tanks on the go, meaning that they have a monthly plan where they come and fill it up every month and put a little bit every month, or where they don't keep anything in stock. Think about that person. Their heating fuel bill just went up by 100% plus in the last year to year and a half. I thank the good Lord that I thought ahead and I had my tanks filled up before this winter, and then I just had it filled up again before prices started skyrocketing. All right, I had the forethought to say, hey, I know it's about the middle of winter, but I'm going to go ahead and call these guys and have them come and fill up my gas tank or my fuel tank for my heating oil right now in the middle of winter, just to make sure if prices go up that I'll be okay. And doing that alone, ladies and gentlemen, has saved me over $300. Can you imagine that? That had I waited an additional month and a half to do that fill up, I'd be paying $300+ more than what I paid back then. And there are people that are struggling right now with that fact. It's going to get worse next winter. So if you're not prepping for how to heat your home next winter, you better start think about prepping that now. Now, gasoline, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone here think that we're going to get a reprieve from gasoline prices going into the summer? We are officially in spring right now. We are officially in spring, and summertime is usually when gas prices jump up because more people are driving from A to B. So if you think that gas prices are going to come back down anytime soon, I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think that they are. And of course, gas prices and diesel fuel prices, they pretty much correlate with each other. If one goes up, the other goes up. And of course, we all know that fuel prices of any kind, they determine how much you're going to be paying for the food on the shelf. Because everything that you eat, everything that you consume, be it a food item or be it just a consumer product, a pair of sneakers, let's say, it takes fuel not only to process or manufacture that thing, but it takes fuel to transport it from A to B. So we are going to be paying so much more for everything. I stated on a previous video that if you think that you've seen inflation, we haven't seen anything yet, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen nothing. If you are not preparing for this summer, going on to this next winter, then you are preparing to fail. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about food. Let's talk about the crisis that's going on worldwide with countries that export a lot of grains. We already know Russia and Ukraine, and I think even Belarus, have a very big part in the world grain production and exports. Not just production, but exports. There are several countries that rely solely or mainly on Ukraine and Russia in order to get their grain. Where are they going to get their grain from now? I think I have an idea. For those of us that live here in the United States, you better get used to much, much higher food prices because we will be exporting our grains. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as our people here start to suffer even more, and even as our people start to starve, the government will be too happy to export our grains while rationing the food that we grow here in the United States to us, the people of the United States. And if you don't believe that, then that's fine. Continue to live with a pantry that has 3 to 7 days worth of food like the average American. If you want to be the average American, you will feel the blunt force of what is coming. You will feel it because one thing that I stand by that I've always said is this: the government does not care about you. They do not care whether your children are fed or not. And when I say the government, I mean the institution, right? Because I always have people come back and say, well, this representative or that representative, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter how good this representative or that representative is if they cannot change the system. Understand that our biggest enemy is the system that we are governed by. That is our biggest enemy. And that system cares not about you. Have you ever heard the word compartmentalization? Meaning that you have a lot of little blocks here and here and here and here. And all of those blocks, although they all have a specific task that they have to accomplish, that when you take all of those specific tasks by all of these little blocks, they accomplish one big thing. But each little block doesn't really know what the other blocks are doing. whatever representative may be the biggest patriot out there, it's not going to change the system until we the people realize that we have the power. The system will never change. Ladies and gentlemen, that is their biggest threat. The biggest threat of governments is that their people wake up to the fact that we the people have the power. That is why they work so hard at keeping us divided. Because as long as we are fighting amongst each other, all right, about this or about that, they have the power and we don't. Another huge thing that not many places are talking about: fertilizer. Fertilizer equals food. We are going to have a huge food crisis. We are going to have a very big food crisis. I mean, it's been years that they've been trying to get us to think about eating bugs and eating cockroach milk or drinking cockroach milk and going to plant-based meats, even though those products are a lot more unhealthier than actual meat products. I did a video where I reviewed one of the KFC plant-based or Beyond chicken nuggets that they had. Well, ladies and gentlemen, go out and do a little research on ultra-processed foods. And if you do a little bit of research on ultra-processed foods, you'll realize that these plant-based meats that they want you to eat, that they are ultra-processed, which means that most of their nutrition has been pretty much voided, and that all you're eating is junk. And a lot of times, those ultra-processed veggie burgers or whatever, Beyond Food burgers or whatever it is, they're no better and sometimes worse than just eating a meat burger at that. But this is not about meat or meatless or anything like that. This is about food, ladies and gentlemen. The food, people are going to be happy to eat a plant-based burger. In the future, people will be happy to eat it because food is going to be at a premium. There will be food rationing. How can you not see this? If you spend just a few minutes on the interweb, which is a great thing. A lot of people downplay the internet. They're saying, oh, the internet is... No, it depends on what you use it for. An automotive vehicle is a great thing if you use it for the right things. But if you use it for the wrong things, then it's not a good thing, right? It's like anything else. The internet is a great thing. You can actually do some good research. Instead of watching YouTube videos all day long on things that really don't matter, all right? I agree. You know what? I wanted to talk about this here a while back also. I was thinking about this. You know, it is important that you take some time. I watch kitty cat videos every once in a while. I think they're awesome. They relieve stress. I like to watch videos on YouTube about restoring faith in humanity, where people do good things for other people and help them out and all those kinds of things. That's great to do that. But don't spend all your time just watching that stuff. Spend some time on the actual internet doing research about what's going on. If I'm telling you here that we're going to have a huge food shortage, then go and try to prove me wrong. What it comes down to is that we are going to have a crisis in the availability of food. Right now, we are having a crisis in the prices of everything, to include food. But eventually, we will have a crisis in the availability of food. And our government, at least here in the United States, they will export our food instead of leaving it here. All right, so you better be preparing. You have time to prepare right now. Are things more expensive? Absolutely. They're a lot more expensive. I mean, fuel oil to heat my home is now more than twice as much as what it was less than a year and a half ago. Our country is exporting fuel as we need fuel, making the prices go up even more. There are countries around the world right now, ladies and gentlemen, that are just stopping exports. There are several countries that are like, we're not exporting anymore. We need to keep this food here. We need to keep what we have here because we see what's coming. You all know that China was importing like crazy for the last couple of years. You've all heard that China has imported more than half of the world's grains. And it's true, they did. They imported more than half of the world's grains in like the span of a year and a half. They have enough grains in stock right now to feed their entire country for a year to a year and a half. So why aren't you? If governments are doing this, why aren't you stocking up? Central banks all over the world are buying gold like it's going out of style, while they keep propping up the stock market. I wonder why. Because gold is real and stocks aren't. If you think that the stocks that you own are real, they are not. They are air. They are a paper tiger. And as soon as it crashes, then where is the value? If you are a trader, a day trader or a professional trader, and you know how to manipulate the market and get it in and out and make money, that's great. But I would take that money that I earned and I would turn it into real stuff. Because real stuff is what you are going to need. You are going to need real stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, let me end it off with this, all right? I don't want to make this video way too long. I'll say this one last time and I won't bring this up again unless somebody asks me directly. If you live in very populated areas where it's like a big city and it's very populated and there's really not a lot of production there, then I would consider either moving or at least having a bug out area, having a place that you can go to that it is at least a tank of gas away from that populated area that you can go to in a hurry. Because populated areas, you can see it right now. Gas thefts. People are having their tanks, punctured to steal gas. People are siphoning gas out of tanks. Grandmas are getting knocked over the head at parking lots for their purses and their food. People are getting followed home from the grocery store. Not because they want to steal their money, but because they want to steal their food. If you don't see it happening now, then when it actually gets at a climax, when it actually gets at its worst, you're going to be right in the middle of it and there's going to be absolutely nothing you can do. And the government will tell you that everything is all right until it's not. Just like in Ukraine, they kept telling the people, everything is going to be all right, everything is fine, until it was not. And then most people, they had to bug out in a hurry when they could have bugged out days or weeks earlier instead. So you better be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm saying, because everything is going to fall apart. This is their plan. This is how we can have the great reset, if that's what they want to call it, whatever it is. The only problem is that with this great reset, it's not you that's going to benefit. It's not you. So if you don't protect yourself now, if you don't take the time to get those things that you need now, I hear it all the time. AP, you get a lot of stuff. That's what you do for prepping. You get a lot of stuff. That's the stuff that I use. It's the stuff that I need. It's the stuff that I know I'm going to need in the future. Why not get it now while you can? Do you think that China is going to continue to export their goods to the United States so that we can give them funny money? How long do you think that is going to continue? Ask yourself that. How long do you think it's going to be before other countries around the world realize that the Federal Reserve note, i.e. the US dollar, is a paper tiger that really has no backing? The only backing that it has is your labor, ladies and gentlemen. Your time and your labor is the only backing that it has. How long before other countries get tired of the United States using the SWIFT system, i.e. the International Financial Transfer System, as a tool to make them do what we want them to do? How long before other countries get tired of that? Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of countries are catching on. A lot of countries are breaking ties with contracts that they had with the U.S., just like Saudi Arabia, that had a contract with us that went all the way back to 1973, 1974, where the United States told them, listen, we will protect you militarily and we will provide you with arms, as long as the OPEC nations, the nations that produce oil, sell their oil in dollars. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Saudi Arabia is breaking that contract. I don't know if you heard, but Saudi Arabia just made a deal not too long ago with Russia that Russia will now protect them with arms and that Russia will now provide them with security, as long as they sell oil to Russia in rubles. Russia and China are now doing business in rubles and yuan, bilaterally. All these other countries that are tired of the United States bullying them around. And when I say the United States, ladies and gentlemen, understand, all right, because there are some people out there that are so darn ignorant that cannot look beyond their nose, that when I say the United States, they think that I mean the people. No, the government. The government that does these acts in your name, but they never pay the price. It is you and I that pay the price. All right, so understand that. Stop being a child. When all of these countries get tired of the United States bullying them around, they're going to say, hey, these guys are trading bilaterally. India is trading with China bilaterally without using the dollar. Russia is. Saudi Arabia is. Kenya is. Why can't we? It's a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen, what's happened to the greatest nation in the world. And Abraham Lincoln was 100% correct when he said, and I'll paraphrase it, that the United States will never be overthrown by an invading force. That if the United States falls, it will fall from within. And that is exactly what is happening right now in real time to the United States. It is a shame when a small country, I think it's Ecuador, or I forget what country it is. It is a shame when a small country says that they don't know what's happening to the United States, that the United States seems so weak. A country that we provide funds to, that we send funds to every year, saying that the United States seems so weak. Incredible. So what can you do about this? What can I do about this? What can you do about geopolitical issues? Or I? Absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because you know and I know that our votes don't count. Right? And if you think your vote still counts, well, God bless you. All right? Because I know I didn't vote for the trillions of dollars that get sent overseas every year to all of these other nations and nations that don't like us at that. I know I didn't vote for that. So if you think your vote counts, so be it. But if you're not getting ready, then you're going to suffer because there's nothing you can do about this. What's coming is coming. And the best thing that we can do for our nation, as we the people, is to be as prepared as possible. That way, when the wolf comes to our door, we can meet it head on. God bless every one of you.